Welcome back to another episode of Sweep the League, baby, because we have a lot to talk about. And we're on a brand new night now because Wednesdays weren't working out for us, pretty much. That's basically what it came down to. And feel like Tuesday night's a little bit better for everybody. So I hope you're adjusting your time schedule to come with us and everything. But I'm your host, Trey Collis. And with me, as always, well, I wouldn't say always, but been a while. Gio made a slight appearance last week, but now he's back.
Slight appearance. Wednesdays are not my greatest days. I have some meetings at night, so it kind of cuts me off sometimes. And then we extended it to go later, but then it kind of overlapped with my meeting. And then apparently my meeting now is at 7:30, so it kind of switched on me. But I'm here on Tuesdays. I'm pretty open. Tuesdays, Thursdays. So we're back.
Thank God. Will could not be with us tonight. He has family that came in. They went out to dinner. Seems like he's always going out to dinner, no matter what night. He's always at dinner.
Funny. I thought you were going to say that in the chat. I thought like Trey's going to say he has a party going on.
The birthday dinner that he's always trying to get us into. But so he's missed. But me and Joe are here to. We got a lot to talk about. We got the playoff rankings came out about an hour ago. We're gonna get into that. Of course, we got to talk LBJ and how he didn't intentionally hit somebody. I think we're going to differ on that one a little bit. And then, of course, NFL, big weeks, big three. I wouldn't say big, maybe two good games tomorrow because that first one's just whatever.
There's some good games on.
Not the Lions, though. Good God.
I mean, wait, is tomorrow Thanksgiving or is it Thursday?
I mean, Thursday. See, it's already messing up because I think today's Wednesday because now to go to work tomorrow.
I was like, wait, there's a game tomorrow? I thought I better set my lineup.
Well, there is a good basketball night. The Warriors and Sixers, baby. Just saying.
Well, there's nothing going on in San Antonio, that's for sure.
Oh, God, no. We'll get into that, too. Like I said, this is Sweep the League. We are going to be covering all the leagues, everything that's going on right now. Someone from the Rays got a big contract today. I don't know what Joe wants to talk about.
That's a lot of money there.
A lot of years, too.
12 years, though. You couldn't get like 8 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get you're spreading the money out, but that's over a decade, and he probably won't be. How old is he?
I don't know, 20?
He's got to be late. He has to be late 20s because most of these guys, when they hit the arbitration and then their contract year. So, yeah, he's probably late 20s. Or, it's like a Tatis thing where they just sign him right away, just get over with.
That's true, too. But we'll get into that later. How about we pay some bills first before we get into everything, if I can get everything right? We have 2 radio shows, so you know.
All right. 2 of these shows.
I'm trying to get on more, too. But anyway, thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring the show. If you have not used DraftKings, go do it today. There's a lot of good games on tonight, tomorrow, NBA-wise. NFL football is on Thursday, Thanksgiving, all from 11:30 p.m. Central all the way to about 7:30. You have 3 games on Thursday. So go and make sure you go to DraftKings. One thing I like about DraftKings is you only have to do one day. You don't have to redo your lineup every stinking week. You can just one day you're done. You don't have to bench someone here, bench someone there. It's just focused on the one game. So go to DraftKings right now, whether it's soccer, golf, basketball, football, baseball, when baseball season's here. Hockey has it. Go use that TBN code, the promo code TPPN to get started today. And it takes about 2 minutes to get it started today. And DraftKings probably loves me because I give them all my money, and every player I pick either gets injured or they suck.
Trey, the whole DraftKings thing, it's always weird to me. I'll be just close, and then something just weird happens. It's like, what, he couldn't get a half a yard? You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like, what? I know there'd be some price chasing with certain players not getting certain yard. It's weird sometimes. It almost feels rigged, but I'm not going to go into that.
What was Christian McCaffrey, 10,000 last week?
Yeah.
Good God. Anyway, yeah, but all right, United Collision Care Center. Listen, guys, the holidays are coming up. If I can throw it, there we go. United Collision Care Center. The holidays are coming up. I know there's going to be a lot of traveling. If you get a little fender bender or whatever the case may be, just go take it to the United Collision Care Center. Go see Lewis and those guys. Make it very simple for you. All you got to do is go to www.unitedcollisiontexas.com, or you can just call them at 210-595-6413. Lewis and those guys will get you hooked up and ready to go faster than you can say LeBron should have been suspended. Anyway, we'll get into that later. And then also Project Spurs. I'm telling y'all, go follow Project Spurs on Twitter, at Project Spurs on Twitter. They have great content. They have great insights at the Spurs, other NBA teams as well. I mean, they hook you up, man. If you don't know anything about this going on, the Spurs practices, their stat lines, what their win-loss record against any other team, whatever it is, those guys over there have it going on. So if you have any questions about Spurs, go visit the Project Spurs on their Twitter page. They can hook you up quick. And then also we want to give a shout out to Derek Irvin and Rudy Campos Jr. as they do their Sweep the League radio show every Sunday night from 7 to 9. They recap all the day's NFL action, NBA action from the earlier today, and they also go through the live Sunday night game for you as well. And also call in that show whenever you feel like it too. They have a lot to say. If you need a hotline for call on the Project Spurs hotline at 210-388-8867. Get your voice heard and tell them how much you love the show. No, we're good. Okay. Oh yeah, you can also follow us on Twitter. He is at Coach Geo. That is 2 O's on Twitter. I'm at Trade5. Austin Hartsfield, who's never going to be on the show ever again, I don't think, but maybe when baseball season starts up in the spring. But Hartsfield, you can follow him at Hartsfield MLB. And then Will Nation 7, if he's not too busy doing dinner day, maybe he can reply to you or whatever the case may be. And then also, of course, Rudy Campos Jr. at Sweep the League. Those are our 20. Go make us like, comment, whatever. Tell us how good or bad of a job we are doing and everything like that. All right. Well, I got to start with it. Usually I start with college football, but I'm going to start with this. I was in a big argument over Facebook with LeBron fans, telling me that foul deserved a flagrant 2. He didn't do it on purpose, and he shouldn't have been suspended. I want Gio going. What was your reaction to all that?
Well, listen, it's unfortunate. I mean, LeBron did, whether it's intentional or not, he did hit in a way where someone reacted. Now, if I forgot his name, if the guy doesn't react, Trey, there's probably not a suspension for LeBron.
You're probably right.
Probably not. But the fact that he reacted in the way that he did, it's brought some controversy. And then obviously the guys rumbling, tumbling over players just to go hit LeBron James. So that wasn't a good look. It was a flagrant in my eyes. Whether it's a 1 or 2, it doesn't really matter at this point. But it was a flagrant, and the player reacted. LeBron tried to get his phone number after the game, and he tried to connect with him. And so I think LeBron, in that instant, he's not a dirty player, but it was a little dirty. It did look it. Because he's like staring at him, right? And it's like it happens so quick if you kind of slow it down. But nonetheless, to me, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. But the reaction from that Pistons player, man, Trey, that kind of brought back memories of the malice at the Palace. I mean, that was, and it's so fitting that it happened in Detroit, Motor City, exactly. Right? So it's kind of a weird situation. I'm glad they both got suspended. The NBA trying to do something here, but I mean, LeBron, he did look a bit dirtyish to me, but hey, people are going to have their own outcomes of this and what really happened, but hey, they both got suspended and just move on.
I think it was the right call, and I think he should have been suspended. If you look at the baseline footage of LeBron James, yes, they're both fighting for a position, but he clearly looks at him and swings. And that's what the NBA, it doesn't matter if it's intent or not. If you have a full windup and a swing and hit above the shoulders, it is going to be a flagrant 2 foul. And that's exactly what happened. And I just believe that he did. I'm not saying LeBron's a dirty player. He's only been ejected twice in his career. I'm not saying, as much as I would love to say that he's a dirty player, But this guy flops all over the league, and he doesn't want to be in fights as big as he is. He never wants to get in a fight or whatever. He's always like the calm collector dude. But I just believe that he did try to do it, but I don't think he tried to hit him in the head as much. But I just think it was a frustration with the way the team was playing, the way everything was going, the way the Lakers are playing right now. I think it all just came down out of that, and all the injuries with LeBron. I think it all boiled up to that one quick instant. And listen, the NBA's got to do a better way of finding people, because LeBron gets suspended one game without pay. That's $228,000. The other guy gets suspended 2 games. It's only $40,000. That's not right. But anyway, I don't say LeBron James is a dirty player, but if you go by the content of the rule of the NBA, the way it is now, the NBA actually got, and I give kudos to the NBA for actually suspending LeBron James on a TNT game.
No, I think it was warranted, and that's suspension of 1 game. That's a good amount of money right there. So, I think the NBA needs to get more creative, and some of these other things that happen, start hitting some guys heavy and start sending a message in this league, because a lot of times guys do certain things. And listen, the NBA is all about protecting their brand, right? Protecting their assets. And for the most part, they're going to protect their big stars. And the same thing with Jokic and Morris. I mean, Jokic had enough. He says, you know what? I'm the MVP of this league. You're not going to do that to me. And I love what Jokic did. I loved it. So what if it's in the back? Who cares? I loved it because it shows us that some of these players, there's still some of that 90s floating around in the NBA. The NBA doesn't like it, but hey, you know what? That's okay. Now, the teams don't have enforcers no more, Trey, so there's no Charles Oakley coming off and going to hit someone for someone, right? But, hey, the NBA, can we get some physicalness back?
I totally agree with you. We don't need the no Jordan rules, right? We don't need the fisticuffs and everything. We don't need the malice in the palace again. But we need that. We need that Ron Artest or Meta World Peer, whatever he's been called now. We need him. We need Lambeer. We need those kind of play, like the enforce, like you were saying, the Ben Wallace. You know what I mean? The game just got too soft, and it's a contact sport. You have to let some things go, and that's what the NBA is missing. They're right by taking some of it out, but they didn't even take the whole enforcer thing out, like you were saying. I totally agree with you on that one. Real quick, I want to get your opinion. I know it's early in the season. We haven't got to Thanksgiving yet or anything, but who's a front runner for MVP right now for you?
For the NFL?
No, NBA.
Oh, I'm going with Steph Curry. I think he's been tremendous. He has shown that right now he's playing lights out. He's playing very well. He's shooting the ball good. The team's playing good. They're the best team in the West. The Phoenix Suns, they're kind of taking off of what happened last year. I think Chris Paul, deserves some of those votes too. But I think right now, clear cut, has to be Steph Curry. A few other candidates in there. We'll see how the season progresses. The Bucks are trying to find their fitting. The Sixers, the Brooklyn Nets, and Kevin Durant. James Harden looking like a shell of himself with some of these rule changes. But nonetheless, give me Steph Curry, Clay. The Warriors, when Klay Thompson comes back, that's going to be a scary team if they can get it all together.
Going to be a scary. I think they already are a scary team. You see what what they did to Brooklyn, man. It was just on Brooklyn. I just don't know what's going on. Brooklyn has only won 2 games with teams over 500. I know what everyone's going to say. The Warriors only won 3, whatever. But the Warriors are blowing people out. Like, they're winning by 20-plus points on games and stuff. But the ball movement and it's like the Spurs game. Like, it reminds me of the 2015 Warriors team when no one even no one gave them a shot. And like, oh, it's the Warriors. But that beautiful ball movement, everything like that, it just seems like it's back to where Draymond Green's having fun again. I still say you need to trade Draymond Green to Ben Simmons. I think that Warriors would be a lot better, but I don't know. But like you said, they get Wiseman back. They get depth at they have a rim protector. I know Looney's doing a good job right now for them. They also need position. Then you can get, Thompson back, someone's got to go to the bench. So you bring in off Poole or somebody off the bench, and it's only going to make that strength in numbers even better. But I'm with you. I think it was between Steph and Kevin Durant. I think that game against Brooklyn, I think Steph proved that he was the MVP. Now, he's got to stay healthy throughout the regular year, and he's got to keep improving his numbers. But right now, I do think it is Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, I think he's been playing tremendous. The team is playing well. They're going to get some guys back, and we'll continue the season, and we'll see how it goes. But right now, Steph Curry, numero uno.
All right, Gio. You took a week off because your Rams had a bye week, which they desperately needed. Can we agree with that?
Well, yeah, the Rams past 2 weeks not playing particularly well. Both primetime games. Stafford looking out of whack. Sean McVay not running the football. The defense not being its old self. But Trey, as you know, this is football season. The ups and the downs. You see the Buffalo Bills right now. They're struggling. They've given up 40 points, twice already this season. The Colts are starting to come back to life. The Raiders are coming back down to earth after their hot start. The Packers lose to the Vikings. It's just part of the NFL, the ups and downs. I still think the Rams are in a good position. Big game this week against the Packers. 3:25 start. I think the Rams, they're a much better road team in general right now. So if I'm the Rams, Aaron Rodgers talking about his big old toe hurting with all this, blah, blah, blah. If I'm the Rams, you come out there, you try to cut the chicken off head real early in that game. I think the Rams have a good chance of beating the Packers on the road.
Yeah, we'll get in this game a little bit later, but I might jinx you a little bit, but I'm actually going for the Rams in this game. And I need the Packers to lose. I need them because the Cowboys need home field advantage throughout the playoff after their horrible performance that they showed Sunday night.
Well, it's a tough game against Kansas City. You're on the road in that stadium. It's loud. But I'll say the Cowboys defense played all right, well. Trey. They didn't give up a whole lot of yards. If you would have told them, hey, Chiefs are going to score 19, the Cowboys would have taken it. But Amari Cooper being out for COVID protocol, CeeDee Lamb hit the turf pretty hard. Mm-hmm. And the offensive line, Zeke, for some reason, Zeke always seems to start out hot, and then he just hits a ground. Ezekiel Elliott, the days of 2014, 2015 trade, those are over. I think Zeke is starting to look human. He could score touchdowns for you in fantasy, but those yardage games, I just don't see that Ezekiel Elliott. He also looks like he's gained some weight, but we won't talk about that. So, so tough loss, but I think the Cowboys were in the NFC least is horrible. So,
you know what though? They're not as bad. The least isn't as bad as what everyone thought was going to be at the beginning.
The Eagles. I'm saying the Eagles are looking decent, and you never know. There could be a Cowboy-Eagle playoff game, Trey.
Oh Lord, no. Eagles are probably.
You never know. The Eagles are looking pretty hot right now with Nick Sirianni calling the shots there. Jalen Hurts. The run game's getting better and better. So, yeah. And the defense is pretty solid over there.
Man. Well, even the Washington football team, they've won a couple games in a row. They beat the Carolina Panthers that everyone's picking to make the playoffs this year. With Cam Newton, Ron Rivera got the win in the revenge game in that game. I know they lost Chase Young and everything, but that defense is starting to step up just a little bit, and they're starting to look a little bit better than what they were at the beginning of the year. The New York Giants are just horrible. Finally, they fired Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett isn't the problem. The coach is going to go too. It's also Joe Judge and his dictatorship style running Bill Belichick thing he's been doing. There's some weird stuff that some of the players have stated that he does there, and it's going to fail, and he's going to get fired. We'll probably go back to New England and be the special teams coordinator, and they're going to do fine. But Joe Judge should have never been a head coach. I don't know whose call that was, and I get it. John Harbaugh, he was a special teams coach, and he got it. But it doesn't always work out that way.
Nope.
So Judge is going to get fired, and then the Giants' job, they got some talent, Trey. They got some talent there. If they could stay healthy. The receivers are always hurt.
And then Saquon Barkley's always hurt, and Danny Dimes.
The offensive line is not very good. And Danny Dimes, Rudy, wherever you at, man, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Danny Dimes right now is so far a bust.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
A bust. He's
But
going down the Jared Goff train.
Oh, I think that this what's his name? Garrett firing has nothing to do with him. I think it has to do with Danny Dimes. I think they're like, all right, we're not going to make the playoffs. We got to see what we have in Danny Dimes with the new offensive coordinator, Freddie Kitchen, who coached Baker Mayfield, who had the good years that he had with Cleveland Browns. He's actually going to be calling the plays now. They want to see if Danny Dimes, if it was Jason Garrett, or if it's just Danny, or they need to find a new quarterback. Rather, because the NFL draft does not have a lot of good quarterbacks. But I tell you what does is the NFL free agency this year. The NFL free agency. You can have Russell Wilson on the move. Aaron Rodgers is going to get traded. You have all these other talented. You need to start bringing, because you have talent in New York. You have talent. You have Shepard, if he can stay healthy. Tooney, whatever his name is, that guy. Hell, I think he's a better quarterback than Danny Dimes is, and Tooney's a hell of a runner, and he's a playmaker when he gets the ball. They have Saquon Barkley, and then that defense is nothing to laugh at. I mean, they can keep you in games. So I think that's what they're trying to see right now. They have the future in Danny Dimes, but I'm with you. I think he's a bust, and I think he'd be suited well for a backup quarterback because he can win you a game or two when you need him to, but not a full season.
Well, he's played well. We saw them beat the Saints. Danny Dimes has the potential when he plays well, but there's too many down spots. He's going to get that coaching staff fired. He's already got Jason Garrett fired. So the Giants right now, they're in limbo. Dave Goleman, he needs to go too. I don't know if they fired him yet, but it's a hot mess in New York. The Jets got some talent there, but it sucks when the New York markets are not playing well. You would like to see New York markets on the rise, and unfortunately, the past several years, even with Eli Manning, they just haven't been very good.
Yep, totally agree with you. So let's just move on to this week's games because there's a lot of man. We're getting down to it. We only have 6 more weeks,
and fantasy football is coming down to the playoff stretch, right?
I know. I'm scared. I'm hanging on because all my players get hurt or they have to take a mental break or whatever the case may be. And I forget to set all 7 of my draft lineups. And then you lose the game 102-28.
See, I only have 3 leagues this year, which is like a season low. All 3 right now, slated to make the postseason, doing pretty well. I'm trying to make a good run at the end. So, but yeah, I saw that, Trey. You didn't set one of your lineups for one of your players.
I'm so freaking busy. I just forget, man. I'm like,
well, I'm pretty sure Rudy's forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy has way too many leagues, and I'm pretty sure he's forgotten to set his lineup. Also, on Sunday, Hollywood Brown was out with Lamar Jackson. In 10 minutes left, I had to put someone in the game. I put Brandon Ayuk. He gives me 17 points. So, but you have to watch out for those COVID, sickness, all types of stuff before games because guys can be out and you just never know.
No. So let's run down some of these games. We have 3 games on Thursday, starting with the 11:30 p.m. Central Time, 12:30 Eastern, and 9:30 Pacific, I believe. Anyway, you had the winless Lions, who do have a tie, by the way. Lost our first game in November last week against the Browns, which my parlay was actually my only win of the parlay was the Lions. I've got the point. It was plus 13, and I took the points. But all my other teams sucked it up that day. But we have the Bears and the Lions. Bears, Justin Fields is not going to play. He has broken ribs. He's already out. The Red Rocket himself is Andy Dalton is coming into play.
Is Jared Goff playing this game?
From what I saw on ESPN right before I came on the show, it said that all signs are looking forward to Jared Goff playing. He's looking a lot better in practice today and yesterday as well.
You know what? Give me the freaking Lions. Give me the Lions. Come on. They were close. If they had Goff, well, I don't know, but if they had Goff last week, maybe they would have won. There was a lot of rain in that game. Give me the Lions, for Christ's sakes. Swift has been phenomenal this year in fantasy football, playing well. Give me the Lions. The Bears right now, they're Khalil Mack's out for the season with that foot injury. Yeah. Honestly, I could see Khalil Mack. his days in Chicago being numbered. Honestly, I could see them moving on from him. Give the Lions, man. Who cares? They're both not very good.
No, they're not. The Bears suck. I'm sorry, Carolina.
And the Bears lose to what? Brent Huntley and the Ravens?
Yeah.
Come on.
And they had the game won. They had. I agree with you. The Bears seems a joke. There's a report. I don't know if it's just a fourth.
Well, I think it's true.
I
think it's true. I saw it.
I hope it's true because Matt Nagy's a joke as a head coach. Even though he's a great guy and probably a great human being, I just don't think he's a great head coach. He is a good quarterback whisperer, if you want to say all that. Maybe a good offensive coordinator. Maybe no, I won't even go that far because what he's doing to Justin Fields this year is ridiculous. He's not putting in the right place for him. But I'm with you on the Lions. I hate agreeing with you, but I am agreeing with you on the Lions on this one. What better way to get your first victory on Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving, give me Detroit. They've been playing their ass off. I mean, Trey, they've been in almost every game. I think maybe 2 games they weren't, but all these games, even the Rams game. I mean, they took it to the Rams that first half. I mean, this is a team with some talent there. Campbell has them. I mean, Campbell doesn't have them breaking other teams' kneecaps. He's got them breaking their own. But Detroit, go win on Thanksgiving. The city of Chicago is in turmoil right now with the Bears, but the Bulls are playing really well, though. That's a different story. But
yeah, that is.
But give me Detroit.
I'm with you on that one. All right, we're going to go to the Thursday night game. It's Bills, who are not looking like a good team right now. They're not even the leading division winner right now. That's New England Patriots. Right now, if it all comes to fruition, I think the Bills are a 7th seed right now at 6-4 in the AFC, where no one wants to win apparently. They're going against the Saints, who don't have a quarterback. I'm not a believer in whatever his name is. Forgot his stinking name. Anyway, Saints are at home. Bills, I think, are going to get back on the winning track. Who do you have on this one? Before you answer that, New Orleans has won 5 straight games against the Bills. Are they going to make it 6?
Trey, this is a tough one to me. Give me Buffalo to get back on track. The Saints with Trevor Siemian and whatever the hell contract they signed with Taysom Hill. Yes. I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't know what the infatuation is with Taysom Hill. I don't know what it is. Is it Sean Payton say, hey, look at me. I can go sign this guy from a practice squad to a start. I don't know what it is with Taysom Hill. This love, bromance, whatever it is. But give me the Bills here. They need to win this. I think this is a must-win for the Bills, Trey, for confidence. You lose this game, and then they got to go play New England in a few weeks. We're going to find a lot about the Patriots coming up. But, Trey, this is a must-win for the Bills. The Saints, listen, they kind of know that their season's teetering right now. Give me Buffalo. That Saints defense is pretty good, though. That Saints defense looked really bad last week against the Eagles. So, though the Saints have been struggling the past few years against the Eagles, but give me the Bills to get back on track. Josh Allen, I got you in fantasy football. Let's get back on track there, and let's get back to those 40-point games because last week I still won, but you were kind of shaky there against a Colts team that is starting to get hot. And you know how these teams are. When they start getting hot, Trey, you don't want to play them in the playoffs. But anyway, give me those Buffalo Bills, the only team that actually plays in the state of New York, upstate.
That's a true fact right there. You heard it from Coach Gio. That is the only team that plays in New York. The other 2 teams play in New Jersey. So good get there if you're living on a rock. But this game is interesting because it is at the what do they call that now? The Mercedes, Caesars, whatever dome, whatever the case may be.
Caesars Palace, Little Caesars. I don't know.
But I think it's a must win for both teams, right? Because the Saints kind of faltering a little bit. I think they're still right there. They're still in the playoffs. Both teams are in the playoff picture. Whoever loses is going to take a steep step back. But I think the Bills just have way too much firepower, too much offense. That defense is going to step up. I just don't think the Saints have enough offense to keep up with what the Bills are going to give you on Sunday night. Man, I want to go with the Saints, but then again, I don't. Like you said, the Saints kind of teetering a little bit. Give me the Bills. I think that Josh Allen has a big game. I think he's going to eat that chicken wing at the end of the night. I just believe that they're the better team. I think that they're going to get the thing. They have to get it back on track because you still have to play. New England is one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Bill Belichick has rocking and rolling. Mac Jones, I was totally wrong on him. He is not a bust. He is a stud. He's going to be a stud quarterback in this league. He can throw the ball in perfect positions. I just believe that defense is good in New England, but I'm not talking about the game. The Buffalo Bills need to win this game to keep up with New England Patriots. Give me the Bills in this one, win it by 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints defense might come back to earth and they might play very well, but the Bills right now, you need to keep momentum against the Patriots because, Trey, the Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs are starting to figure some things out there. Their defense, what happened here? Like, the white safety is not getting burned anymore, and I forgot his name, who always gets picked on in the secondary. But the Chiefs are playing better right now. I don't know, Trey. I'm not going to say anything, but Chiefs start getting hot. We could have a Chiefs-Patriots AFC Championship game again.
That would be a phenomenal game to watch. Like you said, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, back when he was at the Eagles, he gave the Cowboys fits with that blitzing package and everything, and he took full advantage of that. But the Chiefs are hot. They're not winning games like you normally typically. I mean, they did last Sunday night against the Raiders. But
they did.
But their offense is still strong. I mean, you have Kelsey dropping ball. I think he's leading the league in drop balls right now.
Well, Trey, there's just some teams that, the Chiefs, right? They've been in long playoff runs. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you do cruise control. And that defense is flat out. I mean, it was worse than it was horrible those first few weeks. But as the second half of the season, Trey, you're going to start to see those teams start to separate because now the veterans are going to be like, okay, let's get into playoff gear and let's really hit the drive. We saw Tampa last night against the Giants really suffocate them on defense. So some of these teams you're going to start to see separate from the pack. Not the Seahawks, though. They're 3-7 right now. They have a lot of problems.
Seahawks are done. Yeah, Seahawks are done. We'll get into them a little bit later. I think Andy Reid and the Chiefs took a page out of Bill Belichick's playbook and used September and some of October as a preseason kind of like, all right. Because I think they knew their division, like, okay, the Raiders are going to get off to a hot start like they always do. And then the Raiders are going to shoot themselves in the foot with off-the-field issues and stuff like that, and that came to fruition this year.
And the Chargers always giving up leads, and their defense is not very good at all.
And Denver doesn't have a quarterback who can really threaten you, who's not going to win you games. But now you're seeing the Chiefs take a full possession first place, and they're not going to give it back. So, but we'll get into them a little bit later. And now the main dish of the day, the Cowboys, baby.
Woo!
Listen, I know, like Cowboy Nation, y'all give Cowboy Nation such a bad name. Like I'm seeing on Twitter that, these people need to be fired. People need to be cut, blah, 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 blah. Okay, Amari Cooper, you planned on Amari Cooper being there until Friday, and then he got COVID, and you can't just change your game plan, right? Then you have CeeDee Lamb. I know he still played in the first half, but at the same time, he got injured. They couldn't, and then you Nolan Brown and Wilson, they've been playing, but they played horrible. Yeah, but then now you're moving into the number 1, number 2 positions, which they're not comfortable at. They're comfortable in those slower roles where no one's paying attention to them. And if I tell you what, if Dak Prescott on the first drive of the game would have hit Michael Gallup wide open, scored a touchdown on that play, it would have been a totally different game. Cowboys probably would have won that game. I'm with the defense. The defense is still missing Randy Gregory. They still got pressure on Patrick Mahomes without Randy McGregor and Tank Lawrence. The Cowboys have to go out Thursday and win this game. I mean, they have to prove that just like the Denver game, right? They have to go back and do it. But the Cowboys have lost 5 of the last 6 Thanksgiving games. You have the Cowboys. They're playing the Raiders.
So this game is interesting. I watched some of that Raiders game because I have Darren Waller in some of my leagues. The Raiders defensively do a lot of dumb penalties. Defensively, they're good up front. Their secondary is not very good, and I expect the Cowboys to attack the secondary. The Raiders' offense right now, I'm not sure what's going on. They just can't seem to get things rolling right now. They can't sustain drives. They're going 3 and out a lot. And at this point, I'm going to get the Cowboys the nod here. It's tough, right? Tough loss against the Chiefs. Now you got to go to – are they on the road in Las Vegas? Probably not, right?
No, Thanksgiving game's always at home.
They're always at home. So Not sure what to expect this game. Give me the Cowboys though to bounce back. The Raiders right now just no life, and they've been through a lot. Granted, they lost their head coach. Henry Ruggs' situation is kind of flying under there still. So it's been a tough time, past month or two, Trey, for the Raiders right now. So their defense, I think, can keep them in this game. But offensively, if you can't sustain drives, Ezekiel Elliott and them, they're just going to run the football and air it out. So give me the Dallas Cowboys to win. I would like to go with the Raiders. I was pumping them up at the beginning of the season, but unfortunately, with this John Gruden crap and this Henry Ruggs, it's just this team is just. I think they're going to Trey. They might go on a losing streak. Trey. It's not looking good. That Bengals game was there for the taking early on. They just ran out of gas, and there's no life in that team right now. And I'm not sure if that coach, I don't even know what the hell his name is, can get this team ready to play on Thanksgiving in front of everybody. So give me Cowboys.
And there's a reason why that head coach, I don't know his name either, but there's a reason why he's not a coordinator. I mean, he's a special teams coordinator. There's a reason.
Well, I don't know why they didn't make Olsen the head coach, who used to be a head coach in this league, I believe. So I have no idea.
I think the only reason they did it is because it was John Gruden's best friend, and he maybe had the same mentality. I don't know. It's Raiders. Raiders going to do
maybe Raiders. Maybe Gus Bradley, right? I mean, why did you make what? I don't understand.
I don't understand either, but I said the Cowboys. There's reports out there. Philip Lindsay got cut today. The Cowboys are kind of looking at him with the carry Zeke, the rest Zeke a little bit with his knees, because the Cowboys are in the middle of a three game and 12 days stretch right here because they play the Saints on next Thursday night in New Orleans.
And Trey, they have a tough stretch of games. These teams might not be any good, but what we've seen this year, Trey, is that these teams, you're getting upsets all over the place.
Yep.
I mean, you're getting teams being anybody. So
you're exactly right.
You think it's an easy game? Trust me on this. I saw the Rams lose to the Jets last year. So anything goes in the NFL. The Cowboys should win these next two games. Honestly, they're a better team, but you might not be the better team that day specifically.
Yeah, the Cowboys need to be the better team. They need to come out guns blazing and stuff like that.
Because the Eagles, you know what? If they lose two straight and the Eagles win two straight, hey, there's a race right now. So
yeah, they're only
two games, right?
It's actually 3 games. No, the Eagles are 4-6 and the Cowboys are 7-3. So it's actually 3, and Cowboys already have the tiebreaker. So it's actually 4 games right now. But you're right. They still got to play another time though too. Yeah. And those division, I mean, the Eagles have an easy freaking schedule coming up. Like it's all division folks. It's all Washington and New York the next couple of weeks, pretty much. And those are easy. I mean, Washington's playing better than what previously they were, but Eagles are just rock and roll. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Man, the Cowboys there's no more room for. I know they have a big lead, but they need to wrap up this and start looking forward to getting the number 1 or number 2 seed to have home field advantage to at least they need to at least make the NFC Championship game, because we've seen this movies before, right? We've seen them like they go 13-3, they have the 11-game win streak, and then they blow it in the first round, in the divisional round or the wild card game, and they blew it. They have to at least make it the NFC Championship to start shutting.
Do you think McCarthy can? Do you think he can outcoach someone in the playoffs? Like, do you think
no
he can? Because when it gets to playoffs, right? I mean, the game slows down, right? Defenses seem to be a lot better normally in the postseason. Can McCarthy out-coach a coach? I'm not sure if he can. I mean, right now, Trey, if the playoffs started today, they're playing Sean McVay. So
yeah, I would pick the Rams in that one.
You know, it's an interesting matchup there against the Rams, but the Rams would be on the road, obviously, so the Cowboys would have home field. So we'll see what happens. But the Cowboys, you should win these two games. Honestly, Trey, you should win these two. But the word should never be put on the NFL because you just never know.
Yeah, apparently the Titans can't beat a crappy team to save their life. They lose to the Jets and then they lose to the Texans. So, like you said, it's any given Sunday. Jags beat the Bills. I'm just saying this year's been the year of the upset. There's not really one great team out there. There's a lot of good teams, but there's not one great team that stands up over them all, right? So you're right. I have the Cowboys in this one. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win very easily. I think they're going to win 35-21.
I think I think you're going to notice if the Raiders come out hot, it could be a long day for the Cowboys if they don't stop anything what the Raiders could do. And shout out to Deshaun Jackson. You know, you wanted to leave the Rams.
Yeah.
And so far, what have you done, my friend? He's had 0 catches last game. And also, apparently, I found out that he wanted to get traded, but since there wasn't a market, he said, no, I don't want to get traded. And Sean McVay said, no, we're going to let you go. And that's exactly what they did, Trey, because he made it public. If he didn't make it public and just be quiet about it and go about his business, nothing would have gotten out, would have kept it internal, and the Rams probably would have kept him. But the fact that he made it outside of the organization, the Rams said, you know what, we don't need this. Bye.
Yep, you're totally right. But then they get an OBJ who, like I said, was going to
I'm hoping
perfect time because you lose Robert Woods, right? So now you're going to have to put OBJ in probably that Robert Woods situation, and that bye week gives them a little time to learn the playbook and learn and practice with who's your quarterback again, Stafford.
Yeah, I'm hoping, Trey, that I'm really pulling for OBJ because he's been getting a lot of heat these past few years of him being the reason why the Browns aren't any good. And
well, we saw that
with
with him for Baker Mayfield this last couple of weeks, right?
So I'm hoping that Sean try to get in the ball and don't force it. And also, Sean McVay, run the football, please. You should not have a game where you have 8 carries against San Francisco. And don't even get me started, Chair, on that San Francisco game. It really pissed me off, but I won't talk about that because that was last week.
Yeah, you got a big game this week. Let's focus on that one. But let's move through these games real quick. The Eagles, like I said, are having easy schedule against the New York Giants, who pretty much don't have a quarterback, and they actually suck right now. Do you give the Giants any chance in this game?
Oh, who they're playing again?
Eagles.
No, but
it's in New Jersey.
This year's been so damn weird. The Giants are probably going to win this game for all we know. But give me the Eagles. Miles Sanders came back last week. He was on my waiver wire, picked him up, gave me 10 points. He did fumble, though. Miles Sanders comes back from IR. He was rumbling, almost had 100 yards last week against the Saints. The Eagles are starting to play well on defense, Trey. They've been getting after the quarterback. I know they gave up 29 points, but that was kind of late in that ball game against the Saints. But give me the Eagles here. The Eagles are a better football team right now. But, Trey, it's a rivalry game. So what do I always say? Throw the records out the window. It doesn't matter about the records. It's a rivalry game, and the Giants may wake up. Freddie Kitchens may have an epiphany on how to call this game for Danny Dimes. But give me the Philadelphia Eagles, which have some really good Philadelphia cheesesteaks. I've been there a few times. Give me the Eagles today. In my hometown. Well, not my hometown because I'm from Brooklyn, but, yeah. So give me the Eagles today. Eagles.
I think the Giants are going to keep it close just because the new offensive coordinator, they're going to put a little new stuff in that the Eagles aren't going to be ready for, but then it's going to be at halftime adjustments made, and I think the Eagles come back. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to put a whooping on them. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, Trey, they're just a better team right now. If I'm with the Giants, Trey, I'm probably thinking about my vacation. I'm probably booking it right now.
I'm already taking pictures on my boat like OBJ did back in the playoffs. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, we're moving on. A good game. Great game. Titans facing the red-hot Patriots. Patriots win. They could be first place in the AFC, baby. You giving the Patriots a win. And it is in New England. You got the Patriots in this one, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan Tannehill without a running game, he's starting to look like that Adam Gase, the Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill. Throwing interceptions and not play. He had 4 picks, Trey, against the Houston Texans. Lovie Smith calling that defense. Got those boys playing against the Tennessee Titans. Give me the Patriots this week. Trey, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to call it here, but if the Patriots continue to get hot and hot and hot, imagine a Tom Brady Bill Belichick Super Bowl. That would be an amazing. You couldn't write a better script for Hollywood.
Nope.
That is made for a Hollywood script, Hollywood Walk of Fame. But give me the Patriots right now. Tennessee, Adrian Peterson. I'm not sure they can't run the football, Trey, and the Patriots at home.
Yep.
No, give me the Patriots. I will say Mike Vrabel's a good defensive game planner. We saw that against the Rams a few weeks ago and how they dominated the line of scrimmage. I expect the Patriots to have a heavy dose of the run game here. Give me the Patriots up there in New England.
I kind of want to agree with you, but then again, this is what the Titans do all year, right? Like you get no chance. I mean, they face the Rams. They beat the Rams without Derrick Henry. Then they go and lose to the Jets. Then they beat all the Bills. They beat the good teams, but then they hang around with the lesser of the teams in the AFC. But I think you're right. I think Bill Belichick going against with no Derrick Henry, no run game for the Titans. They cut Adrian Peterson today. I like Bill Belichick going.
They cut Adrian Peterson?
Yep. Adrian Peterson got cut today.
Whoa, I did not. I must have missed it on my Twitter feed. Okay. For fantasy purposes, I would probably pick up, is it McNichols or McDonald's, whatever his name is? And who's that other guy they got? Adrian Peterson got cut?
I think that's what I saw, but I'm going to double check.
Yeah, can you double check? Trey? I didn't see that.
Field Yates, the Titans have waived running back Adrian Peterson.
Maybe the Cowboys will get him off waivers.
Lindsay.
Yeah, just give me the Patriots that we said, Trey. The Titans right now, with no run game, Trey, they're at the mercy of their defense to really take the ball. Because Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones has been in on a lineup. Jones is on IR. Brown has been up and down this season. He's also been dealing with some injuries. So give me the Patriots here to go, 7-4 on the year? Who would have thought? Bill Belichick over there smiling with that grin and his holes in his sweater.
They'll actually be 8-4 if they win tonight. If they win that night.
Gotcha. Okay. There you go.
And they'll have the tiebreaker with the Tennessee Titans, who are right now at 8-3, and if they lose, they'll go down to 8-4. So there you go. All right. Another good game, man. A couple weeks ago, I wouldn't say this is going to be a good game, but we have the Tampa Bay Buccaroonies, the Buccaneers, going to the red-hot Indianapolis Colts. At home.
This is a good game.
This is going to be a great game. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff on Fox. Colts pulling the upset in this one?
Whew. This is a good game. I think this is a better game than what we thought at the beginning of the season. Skip Bayless said they were going to go undefeated. But Trey, give me Tampa here. Liked what I saw from that defense. I know it's Danny Dimes, but hats off to Carson Wentz. He's been playing very well, and the rushing attack. Now Tampa's up front. They're really good at stopping the run, Trey. They've been one of the better teams the past few seasons. So Jonathan Taylor, if I'm the Colts, get him going early in that football game. I expect Nyheim Hines to be important as well in this game if they want to continue to kind of rotate backs. Give me the Bucs, though. I think they're going to be a little too much at the end. But honestly, that defense of the Colts, they're pretty good with I think it's Leonard who's at linebacker there. They have a pretty good offensive line. They're solid everywhere, Trey. Will not be surprised if they win this game. I don't know if I'll touch this game as part of my parlay, but give me Tampa just by a hair against the Colts. I think the Colts can keep this game close.
I mean, it all depends on Wentz, right? If he's going to be stupid and throw balls and up for grabs and stuff like that, it'll depend on him if he can control the ball. But I will say this about that Buccaneers run defense. The New York Giants actually ran the ball pretty well against the Buccaneers last night when it was a close game in the first half. Now, if Jonathan Taylor goes out and has a monster game like he's been having this last 4 or 5 weeks, he's MVP. I think he's front runner MVP right now.
Trey, if he can do this against Tampa Bay, if he can have 120, 140 with 2 touchdowns, listen, I get Tom Brady's been playing well. Tom Brady's been playing some not easy teams there, but If Jonathan Taylor can put a stretch together, Trey, what he has over 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, you have to put his name in the conversation. But it's all about Carson Wentz. Is he going to turn the ball over? And that's the key here. They have the pieces. They have the players. Can you trust Carson Wentz in the key moments? I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I trust Tom Brady more than I do Carson Wentz, but it's going to be closer than the experts think. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, until I never bet against Brady. He has to prove me wrong. I'm going to go Brady. I think it's going to be closer than the experts think, like you said. I think Buccaneers kick a last second field. I think they win by 3 points. Do we really want to touch this next game? Jets, Texans, a battle of who's going to get the second pick in the draft?
Give me the Texans this week, Trey. I think you saw what they did last week, playing well defensively. I give big props to Lovie Smith, defensive coordinator. He's been having that team play hard throughout the season. Just hasn't worked out, obviously. They don't have enough talent. But Lovie Smith against the Jets, a team that's been turning the ball over. Michael Carter is out for a few weeks, Trey. That means Tevin Coleman and whatever the hell other backs they got going there. I do like Elijah Moore. He's been playing really well. I'm going to try to pick him up. He's been on my waiver wire. I dropped him like an 88 last week, but going to pick him up again. But anyway, give me the Texans. Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson, where you at?
Sunbathing on a beach, hoping he doesn't get sued, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm with you. Texans, show me something. They have Tyrod Taylor's looking like he's getting a little bit healthier. That Lovie Smith has that defense rocking and rolling right now. I like Texans, especially being at home. Zach Wilson's going to get the start Sunday, but I still think the Texans go on and win that game. All right, the Cam Newton's Panthers go against the resurgent Miami Dolphins, who are actually on a little bit of a hot streak right now. Trying to make a late push for the playoff run.
Yeah, Trey, the Dolphins, this is a team that's starting to catch fire defensively, Trey, one of the best defenses in the league last year. But early on in this season, they were not very good. Teams were throwing onto them. They've kind of caught fire. They beat the Ravens. They've gone on a winning streak. This is a tough one for me, Trey, but I'm honestly going to go with the Dolphins. And here's why. This Dolphins team, when they get hot, they will zero blitz the crap out of you. We saw that against the Ravens. They were sending everybody. The Ravens couldn't figure it out. I do know they have Christian McCaffrey, so I'm not sure how the Dolphins are going to handle that situation. If they're going to blitz and leave their corners on an island, because they have Byron Jones and they also have the other guy, I forgot his name. So if that defense gets free and they start blitzing Cam Newton, I honestly think that the Dolphins can dominate this game up front. If Dolphins defense, give me the Dolphins here. Tua's been playing pretty well. Gaskin played well last week. Give me those Miami Dolphins. I once lived in South Florida, if anyone's wondering. Really good Cuban food. Really good Cuban food up there in South Florida.
I like all your points, but I'm going to disagree with you on this. I think what you said, I don't know how they're going to handle Christian McCaffrey.
That's the key here, because you can't blitz. You can blitz the Ravens because they only got Lamar Jackson in the backfield, right? They don't know what else. You can't blitz Cam too much because Christian McCaffrey could get free. And they might just start running the football at Miami, which the Ravens should have done better at. But give me the Dolphins by a hair. It's going to be a good football game, a good physical game.
Don't pay attention to the records because the Dolphins are better than what the record says. And then, like you said, the defense is playing better. I just think Cam Newton's still starting lineup, kind of learning some things in that offense. Not the same offense that he grew up in Carolina when he first came in the league, or when he won his MVP, as a matter of fact. But I think it's going to be a close game, like you said. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle a little bit. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But like you said, I think Chris McCaffrey is going to be a difference maker. I think they win by 4 points. All right, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are hurting like no one's business right now. Took a one on the chin on a good Sunday night game last week against the Chargers. That was a great game. They're facing the Bengals, who lost 2 in a row, but then they finally won one last week against the horrible Raiders. The defaulting Raiders, I should say horrible, defaulting Raiders. This one is in Joe Burrow's home field. You got the Bengals? You picking them over the yellow?
Yeah, I mean, but this is Trey. I watched some of the game last week with the Bengals. It's crazy what happens when you invest in your offensive line
Mhm.
We saw what happened last year. They could not run the football whatsoever. Trey, that offensive line, Joe Mixon has been having a phenomenal year rushing the football. Pass protection, so up and down, but hey, they're still getting ball movement. I like the Bengals here. They got back on track against the Raiders. They're going to run the football against this football team. Because guess what, Trey? We just saw what Eckler just did, right?
Mhm.
Against them. Mixon's going to be the same dosage, a heavy dose of Mixon, and probably some IJP Ryan. Give me the Bengals, Joe Burrow. I just think the Pittsburgh's just there's too many injuries, Trey. Way
Mhm.
too many injuries on that team. Ben Roethlisberger, I gave him kudos. He was slinging it around. They got back in that football game, but the defense failed them. The defense just been up and down all year. They can't stay healthy. And Joe Burrow, it's a big game this week against a big rivalry. I would like to go to one of these big, NFC North or AFC North rivalries where it's Pittsburgh, it's the Ravens. I'm not too far off from Ohio, so that could be a nice trip. But yeah, give me those cardiac cats, man. The Bengals.
Yeah, I think when the Bengals came first place in the AFC, I think they got. I think the youngsters weren't ready for the moment. They lost two.
They got fat. They got fat there.
Exactly. I think they go back. Raiders got playing the Raiders last week. Got back on the winning track. I believe that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase is going to be the best combination duo since Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison. Jamar Chase can. I think he's one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league already. You have to put Mixon in, and then I think the defense, like you said, the Steelers are just banged up right now. I don't think there's going to be no TJ Watt this week. There's not going to be the receiving core for the Pittsburgh Steelers not all that great. Ben Big can't throw the ball over 20 yards. Bengals at home. I think it's a resurgence game. I think the Bengals win it, and I think they reassert themselves in the AFC playoff picture and the AFC North as well.
Trey, honestly, they should have. Why didn't you go out there and get a good backup? We're seeing in Arizona, Colt McCoy. I saw some of the game, Trey. Listen, he's running that offense like Kyler Murray is. He's running, he's throwing it, he's slinging it. Backup quarterbacks, right? Taylor from the Texas. Cam Newton gets cut. You don't try to pick him up. The thing is, Trey, I don't know what was this Pittsburgh about loyalty. Freak loyalty. Ben Roethlisberger sucks. He sucks.
Well, you can still have loyalty to Big Ben and still go get a freaking backup quarterback, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like
this is Big Ben's last year, and what are you going to be? This draft class is not good for. It's not. This last year was the year you need to trade up and get a good quarterback.
If I'm Pittsburgh, Trey, I mean, you could try to get maybe Teddy Bridgewater or Teddy Bridgewater's backup. What's his name? He's horrible too with the Broncos. What's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah, he's bad too. Trey, if they want to be a player, they're going to have to make a splash. Trading for Aaron Rodgers, trying to get Russell Wilson. They're going to, or Deshaun Watson. I don't know. They're going to have to put their hand in the sweepstakes because honestly, you have so much talent on that team. It's been hurt, but so much talent to waste it on Mason Rudolph, Hatkins, and whoever the hell they're going to pick up. So I blame this on Mike Tomlin and management not getting this team a good backup, because there's several good backups in this league. You just had to go out there. Colt McCoy was a free agent. He was a free agent.
And hats off to the Cardinals for sitting Murray, because Colt McCoy kind of threw a stunker against the Panthers last week, and they could have played Murray. But I think what happened was they saw the Packers lose earlier that day. They're like, we don't need. We have a bye week coming up. We're not going to lose any ground. If we lose, let's just put Colt McCoy back in there and see what happens. He won the game, and now they're sitting pretty comfortable in first place in the NFC. So kudos to the Arizona Cardinals. But Cliff Kingsbury doing a good job with the Arizona Cardinals. So anyway,
Cliff has been good, and if they don't make the playoffs, if they go into disaster, he needs to be fired right away if they don't make the playoff. Because last year, Trey, they were really good. Maybe not this good at this point. But if they don't make the playoffs for some weird reason, he needs to be fired ASAP.
Agree with you. All right, let's go to the game everyone's going to be talking about. I know Rudy's going to be talking about it. The Falcons, baby, go to the Jaguars. I'm not even touching this game. Everyone already knows where I stand on this. I'm not going with the Falcons anymore. I think the Jaguars are going to win this game. Go.
Well, I didn't take the Falcons last week in my parlay. I had them, of course, losing. I missed my 10-team parlay by 2 games. Of course, always missing it. My parlays, that would have been a lot of money. But anyway, I'm not going with the Falcons. I've had enough of that team. I'm sick of them. Matt Ryan, I don't think it's all his fault, but give me Jacksonville, man. I don't know, and I don't really care at this point. But give me Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a team that can play pretty well. Their defense looked really good against the Bills a few weeks ago. Not too well against the 49ers, but give me Jacksonville. The Falcons will probably win, but just give me Jacksonville.
I'm with you. Like I already said, I'm not touching the Falcons anymore. I'm done with them anyway. So Chargers, Broncos, 3:05 p.m. Central kickoff time. Chargers go face the Broncos. Do you care? I'm picking the Chargers just because I don't like the quarterback situation in Denver.
Is it in Denver?
It's in Denver.
Hey, Trey, it's another rivalry game, and Broncos, when these rivalry games happen, you always have to, all right, what's going to happen this week? Because you just never know. Give me the Chargers. The problem with the Chargers, they've been up and down this year, Trey. If they win a game, they lose a game they should have won. So many games where they should have won, they just end up losing those games, giving up leads a lot in these games. Give me the Chargers. They're a better football team, but Trey, that defense, if I'm the Broncos, Javonte Williams and a heavy dose of Melvin Gordon and run the football down the Chargers' throat, time of possession, play action pass, keep the game within its borders. I could see Denver honestly winning this game and getting Herbert off his mark, but give me the Chargers. They're a better football team. But like I said, everyone, these rivalry games, don't have the record. It's in Denver, mile high, the altitude, so you just never know.
Yeah, I'm picking Chargers. I just because I want the Chargers to do good, so that Cowboy win looks a lot better.
It's always an underlying thing with you, Trey.
It is always a little bit, man. I have to go there. All right. Oh man, this is turning out to be a good game too. A battle of 500 teams. The Vikings at 5-5 go to San Fran to face the 5-5 49ers, who found their win streak, finally getting some players healthy again. Deebo Sanders looking like the number 1 receiver or playmaker in the league right now. That guy cannot be. You can double team all you want to, but he's so fast you can't contain him. I like the 49ers in this game just because they're at home. I think they're playing a little bit better. The Vikings always find a way to lose a game at the end of the Kirk Cousins tried to give the Green Bay Packers that game last week, but the Green Bay Packers just can't catch a cold on the defensive side to win that game. I think the 49ers are playing a little bit better than the Vikings. Give me the 49ers in this one.
This is a tough one, Trey. Kirk Cousins, some of these, like when you have these rivalry games, players play better, but Kirk Cousins has just kind of been up and down all year. But give me the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson. Rudy, this kid, he's a phenomenal route runner. Only second year in the league. I saw him 2 touchdowns in my fantasy league. Justin Jefferson, the way he runs routes and the way he slips and just, man, that guy, such a great receiver. Give me Minnesota here to get hot. I like this team going forward. I also, for personal gain, would like for them to beat the living crap out of the 49ers this week. But besides my bias to the 49ers, give me Minnesota this week. I like the Vikings to continue a hot streak. And shout out to head coach Zimmer. I don't know if you saw a picture of his girlfriend, Trey.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer. Shout out to that boy over there in Minnesota.
Well, money has a powerful thing, right?
What money has. And maybe she's helping him out with game plans. You never quite know what's going on in the office there. Kind of like Mike McCarthy and his massages. But anyway,
God.
Give me Minnesota, the Vikings.
I'll tell you what, though. Oh, to beat the 49ers. I tell you what, the 49ers, if they win this game and the Packers somehow beat the Rams, that NFC West just got a little bit tighter.
It sure has. If the Seahawks You can't count on them to do anything. They couldn't beat the Cardinals, can't beat 49ers. Russell Wilson, why did you come back? If you're not going to try to win, don't come back.
Exactly right. Well, that defense is horrible too for the Seattle Seahawks.
And that offense, the offense, Trey, has been.
There's no run game. There's no run game. So
there's no run game, and they stole the Rams' offensive passing coordinator and Shane, whatever his name is, and they just haven't been able to get things moving. So. Do you think this is Pete Carroll? Do you think this is it right here, Trey? Because I can honestly
said that in the press conference, right? He kind of said that in the press conference yesterday, where he said this is new territory. Like he doesn't know how to handle this. He doesn't know how to. This is new. Like he doesn't know how to. He's never been this position before, so I don't know what the next year holds for me. And blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean he's old, dude. He's a young pup at heart, but my God, he's getting old. I think he wants time to retire. He's won the Super Bowl. He's won the NCAA championships.
He's the oldest coach in the league, I believe, and I have much respect for Pete Carroll in the age of the Legion of Doom and that offense. Russell Wilson should have ran the football there against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but Pete Carroll, really good coach, Hall of Famer for sure. But if I'm Pete, I'm just going to take a step back and says, hey, you know what? It's probably time for me to leave. And who knows? He always acts young. Could he end up at USC? I don't know. Highly doubt it. But I would like Pete Carroll. Nothing to do with the Rams or anything like that, but I think it's time for Pete. And I think he knows it, Trey. I think he knows that, hey, you know what? I'm pretty old at this point. Let's try to enjoy these next 20, 25 years, however many years he has left in him. Just kind of just enjoy life. And
well, hell, man. I mean, even retires, he'll be great in the booth. I mean, not in the booth, but like as a game day, like on Fox.
No, I think Pete would be phenomenal. But also, Trey, you never know. He might want to coach again. You see, Tony Lasorda, or what's his name again?
Yeah.
Tony. How old is that guy? He's old. I think he's older than Pete Carroll, right? He's got to be.
Yeah, but Pete Carroll is going to have to go out and get DWI and then get hired.
And Tony, Tony's funny because, not to go off traffic, but he talks about these unwritten rules and he gets so pissed off.
He's old school, baby.
Tony's old school. But Tony, your White Sox choked, man.
They did. All right, Jay, I'm going to let you have the floor on this one. I'm going to go first real quick. I'll make this quick. Rams at Packers. I have the Rams in this one just because I think the Packers are Aaron Rodgers toe turf, whatever the case may be. They're injured on the run game. They don't have Aaron Jones. The defense is playing all right, but they kind of gave up over 31 points to Kirk Cousins, mind you, nonetheless. I think they're looking forward to their bye to get the players healthy. I think they're overlooking. I'm not saying they're going to overlook the Rams, but I think the Rams coming off a bye week, getting OBJ back in the system, with getting an extra week to practice, study the Packers. I like the Rams in this one. I think they win by 10 points. Go ahead.
Trey, I'm hoping you're correct. I think the Rams coming in, all you've been hearing is they're not for real. This team is done. Stafford was a bust, all this stuff. If I'm the Rams, you go on the road in Green Bay. It's going to be a cold one Sunday. It's 3:25 start. Rams, if you're listening to sweep the league, Jalen, if you're listening, Raheem Morris, stop sending Jalen on blitzes. Put him on Devontae Adams this week. Give me the Rams this week. I know it's a homer pick, but I honestly believe that you have to kind of win this game to keep San Francisco's kind of nipping at your shoulders there. Stafford plays well in cold weather games. He loves it. He's going back to Lambeau Field. The Rams, it's the second half of the year. Sense of urgency right now. The Packers are trying to get to their bye week, Trey. They're just trying to get to their bye week. If I'm the Rams, I want to see the intensity, the defense, the offense, hit rocks, and just let it fly. Give me the Rams. And you know what? Step on Aaron Rodgers' toe while you at it, too.
Exactly. He got stepped on last night and he cried. He's like, man, that was really hurtful. No crap. It's turf toe.
Well, why is he doing? You know what he does, Trey? He's such a blame deflector. They always put a blame on somebody.
Yeah. That's why I can't stand
always. Why are you talking about this? The coach doesn't want you to say anything. Why are you mentioning a toe injury that no one even knew about?
Exactly. And he injured it on his week off from COVID.
Well,
Explain that one.
he's saying it's a COVID symptom. The
What?
toes.
Dude, get off my time.
I don't know if it sounds like turf toe, but I don't know if, and I haven't read up on it. I haven't had COVID. So, but is a turf toe or toe hurting? Is that a symptom? I have no idea.
I've never heard of it. Of all the symptoms I've heard, I've never heard of turf.
But leave it up to Aaron to make something up, right?
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm vaccinated. Yeah, I'm immunized. Yeah, whatever. Shut up, dude. You're like LeBron James of the NFL. I'm tired of you, man. You prima donna, cry, whatever. And we're moving on. Sunday night game: Browns versus Ravens.
Ooh.
This is a big game for the Browns. I guess you can say for the Ravens too, to keep that distance from the Pittsburgh Steelers, from all three teams. This is the only division all the teams are above 500. Ravens can come back if the Browns win, but this is in Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson's coming back from his illness that was not COVID related, which was really weird. I like the Ravens in this one. I think that they're playing at home, and Baker Mayfield's playing on his last tendon in his shoulder. Browns can't run the ball. They can't do anything. Give me the Ravens in this one.
I'm gonna take the Browns. I mean, they did run okay last week. I thought Chubb got going, but unfortunately, Baker Mayfield, as you said, as he even admitted, he's beat up right now. He's got a knee injury, ankle injury. He has a torn or strain, whatever it is, labrum in his arm. I had something similar. It's really painful, and he's beat up right now. But I'll say this though, not so fast. Baker Mayfield has played fairly well against the Ravens in his career. So could this be a thing where, Trey, everyone's putting the money on the Ravens, everyone's putting the money on them, and then the NFL says, hey, no, we got the Browns going to win this week. I'm going with the Ravens, though, to get back on track. But this is an upset alert for the Ravens. Watch out, because we saw just 2 weeks ago, Trey, Browns put up 40-something points the week after Odell was out. So this is a Browns team trying to find themselves right now. Didn't look great against the Lions, but they play well against the Ravens the past few years. So anything goes. It's a rivalry game. I don't like touching these sometimes just because anything can happen. We saw the Rams last week. I had a buddy of mine, Trey. He bet $700 on the Rams to win.
Oh my gosh.
And the payout was sweet, and he lost all the money. But that's what gambling does to you.
Exactly. You think you have an easy money, and nope.
Yeah, so give me the Ravens, but by 3 points, Trey. I think this is going to be a close game.
Okay. And then in the final game of the weekend, the end of Thanksgiving weekend, Monday night's going to be another stinker. We have Washington football team versus Seattle Seahawks.
Oh my God! Why?
The
Why
only
didn't
thing
they?
about this game is I hope the Manning brothers are doing the telecast. That's the only reason I'll watch this game.
What? They couldn't flex this game out like 2 weeks ago. I mean, you've already saw this.
I don't think you can flex Monday night games out. I think it's just Sunday games.
Because yeah, right. They flexed
They flexed the
49ers and Seahawks game.
Yeah. The 49ers Seahawks to the Browns. I can't remember.
No, it's the What is it? The
49ers?
Broncos?
No.
No, they flexed another NFC. I don't remember. Trey, I honestly don't really care about this game. I don't really care. Give me Washington. They've been hot lately. They're a better football team. I don't even know why. See, I kind of want to go with Seattle here to try to get going. You know what? I'm gonna do it, man. Give me those Seahawks. Give me Russell Wilson. Whatever they got left in the tank. Give me Seattle by 2 points because of a safety. I don't know.
I'm picking Seattle just because I think this is a game that they come back and win, and I think the football team won last week because they were playing for their head coach, right? They wanted to beat Cam Newton for his head coach. So, but yeah, you're right. The Week 13 Sunday night game was flex Broncos and Chiefs.
Okay, I like that. That's a good rivalry game right there.
49ers Seahawks game has been moved to 4:25 Eastern time on CBS.
They should have moved that game to 1 o'clock.
I agree. Whatever. But hey, it's an NFC West rivalry game. You can throw records out the window, man. I mean, any given Sunday in that division.
Yeah, no, it's the old adage, especially in football, baseball as well to a certain extent. But for football, just throw it out. I mean, it doesn't matter. These teams play each other twice a year, sometimes 3 times. The Rams played the Seahawks 3 times last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams got them on the road, so it's just one of those things.
All right, before we head on out of here, the College Football Committee has spoken, baby. Of course, we all know Georgia's number 1. They're the best team in college football. But at number 2, it's No, it is Ohio State at number 2 after beating the Michigan State Spartans 56-7 on senior night. Then you have Alabama. Then you have 4 Cincinnati. Then you have 5 Michigan. And then 6 Notre Dame. Gio, did the committee finally get it right and putting Cincinnati in the 4 spot?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Cincinnati's been playing well all year. They've had some close games. They did beat Notre Dame, I believe, right? Did they beat Notre Dame this year?
They beat Notre Dame this year.
They beat them. Notre Dame's kind of trying to claw themselves in there. I think the committee got it right this time. I think Alabama, Arkansas, kudos to Arkansas. They made that a game there at the end. And just want to throw it out there. Georgia blew out Arkansas pretty bad. Just my hunch here. But, yeah, they got it right. And Ohio State, what they did to Mel Tucker and that Michigan State team, and I saw some of that game. Ohio State's starting to catch fire. And Ohio State and Alabama first-round playoff matchup, Trey, that would be a really good game. If Georgia gets Cincinnati, which it's interesting, we played Cincinnati last year in the bowl game, and they gave us all we could handle.
Well,
I'll give them that.
You're playing backups.
I know Georgia just not feeling it, but I still want to give Cincinnati some props. They did play Georgia tough in that game last season. Georgia, yeah, we had some seniors who were getting ready to leave and all that stuff. But you still got to play that bowl game. But shout out to Georgia. We got a big game. I think we're playing Georgia Tech this week. I think.
Yeah, it's rivalry.
It's a big rivalry game. I don't think you throw the records out of the book here, but Georgia Tech is interesting. Years ago, it used to be a pretty big game when they had they had Dwyer at running back. That they had some. There was that 1 year trade where they're like top 5 in college football, but it's not really a big game anymore. It's Georgia Tech's. They're kind of like the little brother. They don't really have much on the recruiting cage. They also left the coach they had before, who ran the option offense a lot. So, but hey, it's still a rivalry game. You still got to show up, Georgia. Respect your opponents, but I expect Georgia to win pretty big in this game and getting ready for the SEC championship game, which is in Georgia
against Alabama
and Atlanta. And Trey, we need to beat Alabama. I've gone through so many years, and we don't play Alabama every year, but we've played them in championship games. The national championship game where Tua comes in and throws the game-winning touchdown. For Georgia, you need to win this game, and I would love to dominate Alabama. Might not be the case, but Trey, I'll say this though: if Georgia loses, Georgia's still going to be in the playoffs. They're going to take a spot. That might be the worst case scenario because you're going to have 2 SEC teams in the playoffs.
Let me throw this one at you. Alabama loses to Auburn on Saturday, but then Alabama beats Georgia.
But
does Alabama make the playoff with 2 losses over undefeated Cincinnati? No, Cincinnati will still be in. The winner of Ohio State and Michigan. Now what?
Yeah,
but
that's the crucial game there.
But if this happens, I mean, there's so much to be worked on the next week. This is where college football gets fun, right? You still have Oklahoma State at number 7 right now. If they still have to play Oklahoma, possibly twice, because they got to play them in Bedlam. And if Oklahoma wins, they got to face Oklahoma again in the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma can get in if they win out, beating 2 ranked teams, right? Oklahoma
Yep.
State, if they win out, they beat a number 10 Oklahoma team. Then they go and beat a number 8 Baylor team. Oklahoma State has
Oklahoma
good
State
shot.
has an inside shot
because
this
Because
is
Notre Dame at number 6, their season's done after next week. They don't play
Yeah.
championship game, and they already lost to Cincinnati.
so we could see a scenario where if Georgia needs to really win to just knock out Alabama from that conversation, and we'll have some new blood in the playoffs potentially. But if Georgia loses, Georgia's going to be what? This 2 seed, right? Probably number 2 or 3.
Well, 2 and 3 will cancel each other out because they play each other.
I don't think the committee would put them at
they wouldn't put Alabama and Georgia again in the next game.
No. So I'm thinking Oklahoma State, if they make a run at it, I mean, their resume looks better than Cincinnati's resume, honestly.
And the committee did Cincinnati a big favor tonight, ranking Houston. So when they play each other in the American Championship game, that's a better resume record for Cincinnati. But like I said, these next 2 weeks are going to be fun.
I think if you expand this to 8 teams, you won't have this issue mainly. You may have some years where you think someone should get in a number 8. But what expanding does, though, it kind of doesn't – your championship games don't matter anymore.
No,
right? Because
ask Alabama. Alabama didn't play in a championship game. They won the national title.
If it's 8 teams and Georgia doesn't win if Georgia gets to the championship, right? Let's say they have 1 loss that year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they lose Alabama. They have 2 losses. They're in the playoffs. They can win the championship. And, it doesn't matter. That's why the 8 teams, I think the committee's scared for the lure of the championship games to matter. But at this point, the money is in expanding the playoffs and do FCS, Division 2, Division 3. They all have playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like they all have
their own selection show.
Yeah. Like they all have their playoffs. They all have multiple teams. So to me, expand to 8 and then let's see how 8 works. Then we could do 12, right? And then I think you cap it at 12.
I would cap it at 12. 12 is all
12,
you need.
I think if you start
football.
getting into 16, it just starts getting weird. And it's like,
I might be able to give you 16. I might be getting in there, but once you get to the 20,
well, that's right. You know what you could do? You can do 6 teams. 2 teams have a bye, or maybe 1 team. Well, if you do 7, then 1 team has a
You can do 7 like the NFL does on each conference.
So there's a number of ways they can do this, but
And you can still keep your bowl games while they matter. They can still have they're a winner of this bowl, and then you get your reward is to go on to the next round and facing a bigger bowl. It's simple math. It's just the NCAA.
My thing is, Trey, if you have 8 playoff teams, the at large, if you win the conference, you get into the playoffs.
Yes, just like
basketball. Just like basketball, and then your other teams will essentially be the what's that word they use for the teams? Oh, they could be the at large. They could be the at large. So teams that maybe like Oklahoma, if they don't win out, right? If Baylor wins but Oklahoma doesn't, Oklahoma is probably going to get in, right? Notre Dame, listen, they need to get their ass in a conference. What's up with this crap, man?
They need BYU is next year. BYU is going to the Big 12. They're an independent school. They need they want to keep the tradition alive. But you saw how much better the ACC was when Notre Dame was in it, right? Last year. They need to join a freaking conference.
I think they need to join a conference. And, I mean, look at the SEC. We're about to get – I know I shit on Texas a lot, but going to the SEC is going to help Texas. It's going to help in the recruiting fronts. Now, is Texas going to get beat up the first few years? It's possible. It's possible. But, hey, you have to kind of fight that because look at Missouri. Missouri came from the Big 12. They were doing pretty well. They were doing all right. Then they go to the SEC, and my Lord, they haven't been able to do much. They did beat Florida. Shout out to those Gators. They fired
Dan Mullen.
Well, they fired Muschamp too. They fired Dan Mullen. And the Gators are losing recruits, and this is bad for Florida. I'm going to tell you why before we leave. UCF is going into the Big 12, which means UCF's recruiting front is only going to improve
Yep.
on what they've already had. They went undefeated for almost 2 years at one point. UCF going to the Big 12, that's huge for them. The Gators right now, I mean, Kentucky's getting better. Arkansas is here. Ole Miss, though their coach might leave again. Mississippi State, right? Some of these teams are playing well, and for Florida right now, and they're losing recruits left and right. So,
Yep, I agree with you. Well, before we leave, shout out UTSA, baby. Going to Conference USA Championship.
so what bowl game they're gonna play?
We don't know yet. There's talk about maybe the Fiesta Bowl, but I don't think they're going to get there because you still have San Diego State, you still have Cincinnati ahead of you, you have BYU ahead of you.
Is the Fiesta a New Year's?
Fiesta, it's a Sugar Bowl, Sugar, Fiesta, Rose, Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, the Cotton Bowl is a New Year's Day.
I think Outback.
Well, because they tend to rotate some of these games in and
Mhm.
out of like the New Year's Day. But shout out to UTSA. What conference are they going to next
They're
year?
going to American.
That's huge. I think that's huge to see some of these smaller schools who have kind of been in like those smaller conferences for a while come to light. I remember when UCF was in the Sun Belt Conference, right?
Mhm.
Like you see some of these schools starting to really catch steam. And shout out to UTSA. I know I was shitting on them throughout the year, but they going undefeated probably.
Tell you what, man, these last two or 3 weeks have not been easy for UTSA. They got every team's best shot. UAB probably should have won that game.
Well,
If
I
they
mean,
won, if it was 14 inches, dude, and they punted it. They took a delay game and punted it to give with 1 minute left to give UTSA a chance, and then Frank Harris did his thing and
yeah.
his way. I mean, so now they get to go. Your boy is going to the game.
Well, Trey, I'm sure those tickets are going out, and the Alamo Dome, right? Is that where they play?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be loud.
Oh, dude, I was at that game last week. I took my daughter to a game, starting a tradition with her. She enjoyed it, but anyway, they had 35,000 people there, the 5th largest attendance, in I think in UTSA.
How much does the Alamo Dome? Do they hold about 50,000?
50,000. They shut off the very top row, the 3rd level. But I'll tell you what, man, the tickets went on sale today at 2:00 for that championship game because UTSA is hosting it because they have the best conference record.
How much is the tickets?
I got mine $18 a piece.
Oh,
cheap.
okay.
They're cheap,
No,
but they're building a brand new stadium at UTSA. But man, the tickets went on sale at 2:00. I went at 3:00 to go see tickets. Dude, there was hardly any seating left. I was like lucky to find 2 seats together. It was ridiculous.
No, I think San Antonio should show up, go crazy. I think it's going to be a good atmosphere. And once they get the new stadium there, I think going into the American Conference, who knows, Trey? In 10 years, they could be in the Big 12. I mean,
well, the Big 12 might not be a Big 12 anymore, but yeah.
I think they might, similar to what TCU did, right? They kind of caught steam when they were in the Mountain West, right? And TCU goes to the Big 12, though TCU has kind of hit some tough times. So I still think it's a good program there. But some good things happen in college football. It's been a good year.
I love college. It's fun having the fans back after last year. And another San Antonio team who made the playoffs. UIW Cardinals, baby. They're in hosting the playoff.
Well, Trey,
game.
They're going to Division I next year.
Yep.
They signed with I forgot the conference, but they're going to be in Division I. It's not the Sun Belt. It's one of these smaller conferences. It could be like is it the Mountain West or something like that? But they're going to Division I next year. So look at that. San Antonio, 2 teams climbing the ranks there, Trey.
I mean, they have to because the Spurs are sucking. Which, by the way, Spurs fans, you want the team to suck and get a lottery pick. Don't go for the play-in game, for the love of God. Keep Primo in the G League. I know you want to see him, but my God, just keep him there. Please, for the love of God, just it worked out good for you on the past when you went to a lottery. I'm just saying. They're moving
Spurs
to the
basketball.
I
don't.
The Western.
I watched it. There you go. So that's a smaller conference. Good for
But anyway.
UIW getting more exposure, a team that's playing well this year. So San Antonio, man, a hotbed for some college football teams.
And they need it. San Antonio's going to be a college town before you know it.
Yeah, unlike Austin.
Yeah. Oh, God. And then I'm like, all right, at least our basketball team would be good. They get swept by they get killed by Gonzaga, number one team. Gonzaga's number one team in the college, but we'll get into that a little bit later in the season. Gonzaga is taking advantage of that fifth-year super senior.
Yeah, I saw that. Gonzaga, they don't play. They're not Division I football. I don't think so, right?
No,
never seen
Villanova isn't either.
Yeah, no, I know Villanova's not. It's surprising how some of these schools, like Connecticut, for a while was not in Division I. I still think they're in the American Conference, I believe. It's interesting how some of these schools are big and they're like their football team's trash. Like here in Chicago, we have DePaul University. They're a big basketball school, pretty big, but they don't have a football program whatsoever. So it's just kind of interesting how some of these towns are just more. Chicago doesn't have much of a college football presence. We do have Northwestern, though, the Big 12.
Hey, Fitzgerald did a good job with them for a couple of years getting into the Big Ten championship game. I mean,
you know what, though? They gave Ohio State last year all they could handle. That game was close.
It was close going to the fourth quarter, and then Justin Fields did his thing.
Shout out to the University of Chicago. They're actually undefeated in Division III football, I believe. Shout out to that small school. They've been terrorizing the people around this area.
Hey, at least you have that Chicago team from basketball. What's that name? It was St. Mary. What's her name?
Yes, Loyola.
They're
actually a trade. They're literally. I'm probably going to go to the game. They're literally like a 10-minute drive for me. They're like super close. So definitely going to catch out a game.
Yeah, and take some pictures and post it on our Sweep the League website. And we'll end it on that note. Go to our Sweep the League website, www.sweeptheleague.com. You see all of our bios, all of our goofy stuff, everything like that. It's been a great show, Gio. I missed you. We didn't have much arguing. Maybe I should read a lot today, which I really hate. But anyway, that's a Sweep the League. We swept everything from NFL to NBA to some baseball and then also some college. We'll be back next week, regular time on Tuesday nights now. Tuesday at 7:30 or 7, whatever I feel like I'm going to do. Till next week, the NFL is going to shape up to a lot better than what it has been. We're going to get a lot of answers this week, I believe. You're going to start seeing teams push away from each other or divisions getting tighter. So make sure you don't miss next week with brand new college football rankings as well. For Gio, for Trey, for Will, who's at a birthday dinner probably eating some cake. I don't know what he's doing. And Rudy, who's probably sleeping like a hibernation bear. It's been fun. See y'all next week. Peace and love. Bye.